Hello everybody, it's the Midlands Outdoors. Welcome back to the channel today. So the plans are for this video, we're heading all the way to Tardebigge on a canal line what I've never explored before. But just before we get there, we're by Webs of Witchbold in a place called Upton. Got a church right away behind me. Let's go and explore the outside of it and see what it's actually like. Lots of history around it, it's really interesting. So I've travelled really far today. I've got 2 batteries with me, so it keeps me safe to get all the way back home. Can just see right away in front, you've got the masts just right away over there. But here we are itself. Can imagine this church really does date back. There's the bell tower going right away to the top. And there is some history here. It does sound to this board here. It says there, historical artefacts stolen from this church. A flute and presentation case that was regularly played in the orchestra at St Michael's Church, Upton. Church in the early 18th century has been stolen. It's a real shame to see things like that happen, especially far into the countryside. I'm guessing that's why churches are locked all the time. But it does say here, it was presented to the church, a Grade 2 listed building in 1934 by Mary Ellen Willett, the great-granddaughter of the parishioner Thomas Hyde, who played the instrument. So you see, I think that's actually what was actually stolen. Don't know if the church is open. No, it's not. You can't go in there. But I tell you what, I bet it's absolutely lovely inside this church. I'm going to go around the corner and check out the architecture. Oh wow, that is definitely old. You can just see the brick right away to the top, and the patterns where the windows are, where the bell tower is right away to the top. And the views over there, absolutely stunning. You can just see the wildlife into the corners. Really beautiful, especially with the mast sticking right away up into the corner. It's a really nice view. So here we go, some information about an interesting village, Upton. I've never been through it before, especially on bike. Upton is a village and civil parish in the Wychavon district in Worcestershire. The village is situated just off the A38 road between Bromsgrove and Droitwich Spa, and on the River Salwarp. I think the River Salwarp is actually close by. If you can actually find it, I'll go and show it you in a little while. It says there, in 2001 census, the parish, which also contained the small hamlet of Cuxy Green, and had a population of 291. Wow, it's a very small population there. So here's a map where it's actually located within Worcestershire. So once more, there's lots of history. It says here, Upton was a manor for many years inherited alongside Grafton, first in the hands of John D. Grafton, then the Staffords, followed by Talbots and the Earls of Shrewsbury. You've even got here the forest law. The boundaries of Feckenham Forest were extended usually by Henry II, which encompassed much north of Worcestershire, including Upton. It says there, the area was removed from forest law in 1301 in the reign of Henry III. I'm sure I did cover bits of information that in Dodford, so whether that forest extended really far, it's really interesting. But it's just amazing to see, you know, historic places like this. It's really cool to visit them because it really does tell you how old the village is altogether. I mean, if I just pan around to show you all the houses down here, I've got so amazing architecture. You can just see the style of them. I did see a few coming all the way down past the motorway and down into the village here. There was actually a really old house and it did say a date on. So it is a really cool little village. I might come back. If I've got time on the way back, I might explore a little bit more of this. But where we're heading now is all the way to Stoke Prior, to the canal. But let's go and have a look at the outside of the church and show you a bit of cinematics of it. It's really lovely. Finally guys, I've actually made it. Here we are in Stoke Prior now. We've got another church, so this one's a really old one. Let's go and check it out, and we've got some information just right away here. So it was really busy coming down all the main roads. I've come another couple of miles to get down to here, past Webb's of Witchbold. Just noticed the entrance coming right away, and we've got the old porch. Here we've got some very old lights, so you just check out the corner here. Must say that it's really cool to see that light sticking all the way down. Imagine that's really old. And it says here, when a churchyard is more than a churchyard, when it's a conservation area too. You can just see some photos of what you can expect to find over here. Family of kestrels nesting in the tower. It's pretty cool. And you've also got your genuine things like your squirrels, bats, woodpeckers and butterflies. So you can just see churchyards are really cool, not just for the history but for the wildlife too. I mean, just listening at the moment, I've actually heard quite a lot of stuff in the trees. You can just see this very old piece of wood that's been nailed to the wall. It says there, in memory of Charles Steer of Forelands, 7th of June 1849 to the 21st of April 1906. So this here is actually really dating back so far back a bit. Wow. But I mean, the front porch there, when you view of it, it's the same architecture as all your typical churches what you go to when you come in. But what's cool once more, you can just see people have wrote their initials onto the wall, 1877. Even more, so you can just see, I mean, from the outside when I come in, it says it dates really far back a bit. I mean, stuff like that is really interesting to read, all the very old dates. You can just see there a date from 1944. I mean, to see that it's actually still carved onto the wall, that is absolutely so cool. But is it open though? I'm guessing probably not. Oh wow guys, it is open. You can just see the stained glass windows right away at the back, viewing all the way up. Got some more stuff here. We've got a very old photo, Stoke Prior Church, Worcestershire. Beautiful stained glass window into the far back corner there, especially with the light beaming all the way through it. I just really love the patterns of the doors when you come right away in, like the architecture. Walking all the way down, the arches up to there, we've even got patterns and sculptures right away to the top. And then just walking right away to the back. Oh wow. I mean, the further you go into the countryside, the more beautiful they get. You can just see where the organ is situated right away into the corner. This massive arch going right away up. Stunning patterns just above the organ. But that is really cool. You can just see the sunlight beaming all the way through at the moment, with the stained glass onto the corner. And then some more patterns right away here. I tell you what a beautiful church. It's really cool to explore that, and especially down there where the far back stained glass window is. Wow, some really stunning architecture. The canal's only down there now. Let's go and head to the canal and have a cycle up to Tardebigge. So here we are, we've actually made it. We've got tons of history onto here. So this is actually the canal itself, going all the way down the Birmingham and Worcester canal. Got a bit of history here, so let's go and show you this. You can just see these photos onto there, especially some photos there And some more photos there. Got a map here, it says footbridge, River Saw Warp. That's actually where we come from, St Michael's Church earlier. So there's various other things around this area. So if I do go back that way later, I'm going to show you where the River Saw Warp actually was. It was actually by the church, just right away to the bottom. So it says here, Stoke Wharf was the location of the canal company's maintenance depot from 1816. It had blacksmith forges, carpenter shops, stores, a dry dock and even the canal company's donkeys' fields and stables. John Corbett owned a fleet of 50 canal barges. They were used to bring the coal for production and for transporting the manufactured salt, bricks and tiles far and wide. Barges were both donkey and horse-drawn at the time. So you can just imagine really interesting information in history. Like the Black Country canals, everything was all horse-drawn back in those days. They had to do it to drag all the boats up and down the canal lines. But imagine how much hard work was put into, you know, transport all that stuff across the canal line. I can imagine some of it was actually taken all the way from Birmingham to bring all the way down to here, a very long distance. When we got here, we've got a picnic site. You can just see, got even more stuff. Tons of nature conservation here. And up to there, canal wildlife. So I'll tell you more about that a bit later on into the video. And some more dates up to the 1933. But you can just see the canal right around the corner. Imagine this bridge dates to the 1800s. There is some really old industry. I might actually have a cycle under there and go and show you actually. Yeah, just right away there. If I zoom in, there is some really old industry right around the corner. Not too sure what that factory is or what they make there. But journeying all the way around, we've got a very old wheel right around the corner. But the bridge that goes across is absolutely cool. You can see it's got the old style bricks what you do see on other canal lines. But imagine that really does date back to the 1800s, I'm guessing. So right, we've got a big journey now. Where we're heading to is Tardebigge. It's a place what I've never been before, but I've always wanted to go and check out the canal. Let's go down there and see what's to offer to see. So here we are, walking under that very old bridge. And I think the route what we are taking is really lovely, so it goes more into the countryside. And then somebody told me on YouTube that there's tons of locks up here, so we'll just come across them in a little while. So here we are, Stoke Bottom Lock, so I have to remember that one for coming back so I can get back off here. Let's go and journey on and see what there is to see. Tell you what a lovely canal line. I mean, coming down here for the first time, wow. Here's another very old bridge. He says number 45 right around underneath it. Similar style to the other one what I showed you earlier. So here we are, this is actually the lock very close up. You can just see like the Black Country canals, they really do date old, especially the brick walls going all the way down. So I've noticed these bridges when you come down, they don't have dates like other bridges what you do see elsewhere. Well, I can imagine by telling the brickwork how eroded it is on some parts that it does date back far back a bit. And the thing what I really do want to try and find, I don't be able to see it, is actually rope burn for when the horses used to drag all the way across. I don't know whether like this here is actually rope burn. You can just see there, it looks like it possibly could be. Make me wonder if that is definitely rope burn. Because I mean, rope burn definitely tells you how old the bridge is, if it was used back in the past to, you know, tow things all the way down the canal line. Let me know in the comments if you think that's what that is. And here we are, come to the locks now I believe. So there's tons of locks going all the way up to Tardebigge. I don't think it's too far to get there I believe. And there is, I've been told, some pools and reservoirs on the way. Here we go, another lock. And guessing it's like the Delph, you got lock after lock after lock. And you can just see, if I quickly pull over, what's really cool And you see the water's flowing all the way down to the next lock and right away to the bottom. And I've just noticed some really fantastic views. You can just see right when the distance zooming in, you've still got those masts sticking at the back. If you have definitely been in, then definitely drop it in the comments. I am interested to know. One person who was on my Facebook, Roy, he told me about, he went here ages and ages ago. I mean, back in the old days, it was pouring down the rain all day for 4 hours when he came here. It's a real shame. Definitely come back down. It's a really nice canal. So right, if I can find somewhere to pull up, I'm going to tell you a bit more information about Stoke Prior. I did look on the internet and I found even more. So it's interesting to tell you about it because it mentions stuff about the Industrial Revolution. So we are coming more out as we get further up the locks into countryside now, as you can just see. And here we go, straight further up, and we've just found a bench to sit right away down. So let's sit on here and tell you about Stoke Prior. So it does mention here, history-wise, it dates back to 1086. Stoke Prior was listed in the Domesday Book. Wow, far back. It says there as Stoke. In the ancient hundred of Came in Worcestershire, the landlord and tenant-in-chief was the Bishop of Worcester, St Mary. He says, when the hundred of Hertfordshire was formed, probably in the mid-12th century, Stoke Prior was one of the Came manors, and next to the hundred of Oswaldtlow. And then coming all the way down, it says, in the 19th century, Stoke Prior was closely associated with the industrialist John Corbett, as mentioned earlier. In 1853, after he had sold his share of the family canal business, he purchased disused salt works in Stoke Prior from the British Alkali Company. It says Corbett brought all the innovations of the Industrial Revolution to merchandise and commercialise the business, soon making his salt workings the largest in Europe, and built a great fortune. So you can just see, really interesting to read the information about that. I'll drop a link in the description, so if you want to go ahead and read that, then definitely go and check it out. There's lots of information around here, especially with the canal, with the information down by Stoke Prior. You've also got the locks. If I just show you very carefully, we are really deep down. You see the lock corner there. And then once more, we've got some old buildings on the corner, so maybe those do date back a bit. So yeah, I can just see some cottages right around the corner. So yeah, these cottages here, I'm guessing maybe they do date back to the 1800s. You can just see going all the way across the style of the brick structure. And then what's cool, viewing all the way behind you, you can just see the style of the building. They're really narrow, especially the roof, how it goes like that and goes all the way down. I'm going to say 1800s. And then viewing even further down, we've got even more. This is actually a road bridge, but you can just see it's got a very old light steel underneath it, and also wood supporting the top up to there. And then what's cool, you've got 46 engraved into the wall when they built this bridge. Wow, that is really dating back a bit, I told you. 1912, so some of them are late 1800s. This one's 1912 when it was actually built. So there we go, it's nice to see that they've actually engraved the dates onto there so we can see how old these are all together. I mean, you wouldn't think it when you see the top of it, but when you see the brick wall right away at the back, you see the date over on that side as well, 1912. Must say, that was absolutely awesome to see that the dates onto there. So I'm guessing maybe the other ones what I've seen might be 1912, they could be late 1800s. So here we are, we're coming back into countryside once more. So it has got some really nice scenery to the canal, so it changes throughout. So I'm not too sure how many more locks there is. I think we haven't come to them yet because we got locks by Tardebigge. There's absolutely tons going up towards the tunnel area. So here's a map on the screen for you now, so you can just see how far it goes up from the area for where we come from. Locks leading all the way up. Goes all the way out to Tardebigge, and you've got some pools onto the corner somewhere, so if we can see them, I'll drop that in the video once more. But here we are, we've come to another bridge now. Let's see what number this one is. I think it says number 47. Yeah, number 47, once more, another very old one. There we go, there's the back end of the bridge, but wow, the views into the distance are stunning. I've just spotted a windmill zooming in, not too sure if you can see it, but there's a windmill right away there. It's very rare I've actually seen them. When I've been to the countryside before, seen one somewhere else, but that is really cool. Might see it one time if I can actually get to that, but I don't think it is actually too far. It just felt like I was in Stourbridge heading towards Stoughton, because the canal just views absolutely the same when you come into the countryside area. When you're down there, it just looks completely identical when you come to parts of it. Here we are, more old bridges. There's lots down here to see. So right, there is a pub up there, the Queen's Head, but not only that, if we go close to the bridge, I've just spotted this. This one's definitely old. Viewing all the way up, I've just noticed this onto the corner. There's a very old piece of metal sticking right the way out, just hold on by a screw right away into the wall. You see the way it goes all the way to the back corner. It's really stunning to see these though, I really do love them. Right, there's another one, and there's the pub on the corner, the Queen's Head. So right, I'm going to get Google Maps up and see how far we are to Tardebigge. I don't think it is actually a too far journey. I've got 58% on my e-bike, so I think it should get us all the way there. Let's get the maps out and see where we actually are. So right, I've had a look at the maps and we're actually nearly at Tardebigge bottom lock number 29. So I think from there it goes up some more locks, carries all the way straight on, similar countryside area to where we come from. It goes even further to the top to Tardebigge Lake. That's actually the thing I was mentioning earlier. There's a really big lake onto the corner, and it goes all the way up, Tardebigge number 57. It says there, the Bridges House, London Lane. Even further up, we've got the top lock Tardebigge. And then it goes all the way through to Tardebigge Tunnel, and then we've got St Bartholomew's Church, which we can check out a bit later on. So it is a little bit of a journey, so I don't think it will take too long with the time we got. Let's go and journey on and see how far we can actually make it up to the tunnel itself. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm absolutely warm. It's what a winter day. It's got to go to about 30 degrees, I believe. This is why I cancelled the plans to go walking, because when you're on bike, you get the breeze come all the way towards you. I've been looking all the way behind at the pub there and I'm thinking, do I go around and have a nice drink? I might do a bit later on. So right, let's keep going. So right, I've been speaking to a lovely lady. She's got an e-bike similar to mine, but it does a bit more lower on the battery. So she's just right away in front and she's heading all the way to the reservoir. So I've just told her about my bike and she's really impressed with it. Oh wow, look at the cottages on this corner. I think these have got some old dates to them once more. I bet you probably 1800s. I mean, by the roof up to there you can just see the chimneys if I zoom in. Must say it's really nice to see some of the old buildings across canal lines. I mean, you don't really notice them when you're going quick on a bike, but when you take your time very slow like what I am, see more things on the way. So I think there is actually more coming up. We've got more canal side cottages. Here we are, we've got another old lock. There is a public footpath that goes just right away above, so if I get up to here very carefully, it just says right away there, number 33 engraved into the wall. We've got a thing going over there to lead you right away to the footpath. And that footpath goes all the way across the fields, right away into the distance. How beautiful is that? You can just really travel far. I reckon travelling by car might be best because you can see much more of the areas. You can take the footpaths and see where they actually lead up to. In the corner, it's got a date there, 2010, when this lock was actually repaired. Quite cool. Let's go and check out the house down here and see how old this one really is. I can just see the chimney by it, and also a massive CB aerial at the top. So I'm guessing that's a CB aerial. Right, and the house right around the corner. I have just noticed there, you can see the brickwork onto the sides, and also how I know it's really old, because it's been modernised on parts of it, is the chimney. If I zoom in, you can see the style of chimney. Back in the old days, they had like little patterns right away at the top, and you can just see you've got that sticking right away on top of the chimney. A lot of the buildings in the Black Country had similar architecture, had little patterns sticking right away out. I have been past some houses which are still there, and they've got very old patterns right away on top of them, so it's nice to see the old style of buildings, what they built back in the past. So right, there we go, and that's CB aerial. I tell you what, I should have brought my CB with me, I could have made a contact. Right, there's even more locks going all the way down. I've just noticed even more CB aerials. How big have they got the rigs? Because I know with some people they put the CB aerials really high up so you can receive signal FM really far. So I'll show you that bit in a little while. So right, here we go, we've got another bridge. It's coming past another lock at the moment. It's a very old one right away in front, and I think it's got a date onto there. No, I thought it was a date, it actually says number 50. But you can just see once more, the same style as the other ones. Surprisingly, we've got graffiti in the countryside as well. You see, very stunning against the lock right away at the back. And that leads all the way over there. I think it's completely overgrown, so maybe back in the old days this was used to go right away to the top to lead to somewhere. So yeah, I don't think that's used up there. I've just noticed there's a lot of plants overgrown at the top. So right, we've come to more locks at the moment, it's right away up. I think the next one's actually lock number 39. You see, if I view all the way around. So right, here's actually the lock right away at the top. So you see it stretches all the way further down to meet to the next one. Well, I've noticed it's quite a bit of while off until you can just see a moorhen just right around to the corner. They're sitting right the way there. I haven't seen too much wildlife coming down, but I'm guessing because the weather I'm hiding in the shade sort of. But I've just noticed even further down, check out these CB aerials, absolutely massive. If I just zoom in, there's one of them, they're going really sky high. Here we go, there's one CB aerial going right away up to the top. How tall is that? It makes you wonder, how many CB aerials do you need? Zooming right the way in, you've got not one, but 2, 3, 4. Then we've got a smaller one for very close contact. That is absolutely crazy. That is a lot of CB aerials. So I think I've seen all those coming down the road, and going back years ago when I was driving all the way up, I said to my mum, I said, look at all those CB aerials into the field, absolutely tons of them. So I'm guessing this could have been that corner what I seen years ago. Right, and I think that canal side cottage is also another old one. If I just zoom in to show you, you see that's also got some old style to it. Also the chimneys right at the top, I've noticed the brickwork is really chipping away and also sort of collapsing. I just speak to the lady, I believe this cottage dates to the 1700s, dates really far back a bit. You see, like the other ones, we've got a very old light onto the corner. Also the chimney, what I mentioned earlier, sort of collapsing a little bit. Enjoy your afternoon. See ya. So very nice lady, just chatted for about a couple of minutes about the history. She also told me about the canal. I think some part of it she did say was in the 1700s when it was actually constructed. Same as the house onto the corner. Do you see the canal side cottages have really old dates against them? Right, here we go, we've got another lock, number 51 now. And also this one does look a very old bridge once more. So yeah, when I did view of the bridge then, there was no date on there. I'm probably going to say by viewing of it, similar to the old one, because I tell by the brick at the bottom. I'm going to say 1912 or just a little bit before that. But I think I need to sit down, guys, I'm absolutely warm. Got like a bit of an headache coming on as well. So yeah, I'm not going to overdo myself today, because the temperature's got to really rise. Well, I tell you what, I've really enjoyed it. You see, coming further where we come from, the bridge right away at the bottom. There's just continuous amounts of locks leading right away. Just imagine bringing a narrowboat all the way down, how long it really takes all the way from Tardebigge. There's absolutely so many. Wow. So right, what I think we're going to do now is head all the way to the top. Let's go and check out the pool up Tardebigge, what I was looking at on the maps. Then from there we'll make our way all the way to the tunnel. But on the way back down I might get a bit more cinematics and show you a bit more things down the canal line, what I possibly might have missed. Right guys, we've made it. This right away here is Tardebigge reservoir going all the way around. You can just see the views are absolutely beautiful, stretching all the way from that corner all the way from the back down there. It leads all the way around where the canal meets all the side and loops all the way around it. It's a really stunning sight, this one is. Imagine this reservoir's got some really big fish in it because it does date back far back a bit. So right, there is a bit of history here. It says in January 1822 plans were put forward to dig a reservoir at Tardebigge, complete with an engine pump to feed the Worcester to Birmingham Canal. So it also says here the lake was intended to fill 5,000 locks with an estimated cost of £5,000. So by July 1823 the lake was nearly finished and held 3,500 locks north of the water, with new engine pump working well to serve weather caused by safety concerns, and it was decided to strengthen the embankment with a further cost of 1,500. So I believe that's probably the embankment what we're on at the moment. So you can see it goes really steep right away to the bottom, and it also goes steeper right away down to the bottom of the reservoir itself. So imagine if it does fill up, it's probably not going to fill up and go all the way over down to leak into the canal line. So since December 1831 the reservoir has not changed since this date, so it's actually remained the same for many years on. You can just see stretching all the way around the beautiful sight. We've got fishermen right away to the back, so I think they're fishing for carp. Like I said, there could be some really old fish, how far this reservoir dates back itself. But it stretches further than what I thought it would have done, all the way to the back down to there. But wow, absolutely beautiful, especially with the canal line. One more view all the way down, especially leading down to a very old bridge right away at the bottom. So in the end the embankment was raised another 2 times to its eventual height of 10,000 lock capacity in 1827. So right, there is some more Birmingham history here. This actually says Cadbury's of Bourneville. On the 16th of June 1914, Cadbury's of Bourneville took over the fishing rights of Tardebigge Reservoir for the benefit of the Bourneville Athletic Club angling section. From 1916 to 1950, local lockkeeper Jack Warner looked after the water for the Cadburys. So it says he sold permits to the members of the Bourneville Angling Club, as well as punting members from one side of the lake to the other. The lake was very much a family environment, and wives of the employees would camp alongside the lake. Mr. Warner sold pots of tea and soft drinks from his lockkeeper's cottage. So also by the date it says 1990s, British Waterways, who now own the lake, took over the fishing rights to Tardebigge Reservoir. So I believe now from British Waterways it's now the Canal and River Trust. So in 2003 Russ Geese took over the fishing rights. says there the lake was due for repair and it was fully drained with all the fish removed prior to rust taken on release. So it goes to show if the fish was removed, was all the old ones put back in? But you can imagine from that day, if there isn't any fish in there now, they're definitely going to be massive. But wow, some interesting information there. I'm glad I told you about it, but I will drop that link in the description, so if you're interested in reading that one once more, then definitely go ahead and read it. What a nice view of the reservoir one more time, going all the way around. But where we're heading to now is all the way up to the top end of Tardebigge Lock, then all the way to the tunnel itself. Let's go and check out the tunnel and tell you a bit of history behind it. So right, just before we get to Tardebigge Tunnel, check out this building that's been converted into a house, I believe. So if I pan around to show you, the building of this is absolutely so cool. Whether that is a very, very old pump house maybe, if I just view all the way to the top. That is a really, really old building. It's actually called the Engine now, so it has got a bit of history behind it. So right, the building, what you can just see about there, sticking right away up, was actually built in the 1800s. And the building itself actually housed a Newcomen Watt engine pumping water from the Tardebigge reservoir to the above the top lock, number 58. But there is so much information there, tons about from the Black Country in Birmingham manufacturing, including chocolate crumb for Cadbury. So it goes back from several information there. St Bathlomews Church was rebuilt in 1777. That is literally right away at the back by the Tardebigge Tunnel, so we might go and check that out. But you just see the Newcomen engine right around the corner on a very old photo. But there we go, one more time, that is really cool to see that. So there we go, it goes to show, going across the canal line very slowly, you spot some really cool stuff. But one more view of that before we go, absolutely so cool. Wow, so by that place what I've just showed you in the corner, I've actually just spotted something really derelict. So it's another big building going right away to the top with a smashed window right away. Let's just pad in and see what's actually inside it. So I've just noticed this, if we just carefully view all the way in, that is really so cool. You can just see the stuff at the back there. Whether that's probably an old furnace maybe, I really don't know. It definitely goes right to the back corner. I think it is locked, yeah it is, so we can't go into there. But how cool is that to see that? So yeah, we didn't stop and look at that long, we just had a person come out just watching me, so I thought I might just leave that. We've also got another bridge coming right away in front. This one's number 55 I believe, or 56. Yeah, this one's number 55 from underneath. But wow, another old one. So right, we're not too far from Tardebigge Tunnel now, we've made it, it's only around this corner. Let's go and check it out and see what's to offer to see. I think the tunnel really does date back a bit, so I'll just show you from the outside of it. So here we are, we're coming very close now, we've got another bridge. And I think it's round this corner. Wow, it just seems like every bridge has got something to it. We've even got old things just hanging right away there. So we've got that there, and we've also got another one right onto the corner there. So what was that actually used for? This is definitely an old bridge. And then that is it, we've made it, we've come to the top lock now. So I can't believe we've really made it this far. And just right away in front I believe is a loading wharf. You can just see a loading wharf right away into the corner. I've got an old crane I can just see. So there is a basin just onto the left I believe. Got some very old barn units right away there. There we go, if I just zoom in, there's that crane right away to the far back corner. Really cool to see that, it's very rusty. And there is some more interesting buildings dating right away back a bit. So right, this is really interesting. The Tardebigge locks and the new wharf. It says here, lock number 58 to your left is the top lock and it marks the start of the Birmingham level. Stretching to your right through the tunnel and past it. So right, here's a very old photo right the way there. We've got a lock, got a very old house, and you can just see we've got a boat coming all the way down, and that was actually taken at the bottom lock in the 1930s. We've got one here, boat emerging from the Tardebigge tunnel, visible to your right in 1960. It's really cool to see that. So we'll see the Tardebigge tunnel in a little while. We'll go and check it out. And all the way around, you just see the old photo of this loading wharf going all the way across. That is actually all the old buildings just onto the corner there where the old crane is. So it does say here the new wharf. Despite its name, the wharf dates to before 1815 when the Worcester and Birmingham canal opened. The work on it started in 1808 when John Woodhouse designed it as the experimental boat lift, raising and lowering boats nearly 12 feet 3.6 metres in a sealed caisson or lift chamber. Once the wharf opened, the Earl of Plymouth, a local landowner, sought an opportunity and built a hostelry for canal travellers just across the road. It was called the Plymouth Arms and the building still stands today. And there we go, lots of interesting information. And did you know the 30 locks here are the longest flight of locks in the UK? That is some really interesting information. And right, the photo what I showed you earlier, it says Tardebigge New Wharf 1954 with a date there. So really cool to see that. I'll take a photo of it and I'll drop it in the channel right now for you. So if you want to pause the video, definitely go and read this out, it's so interesting. Right, got a trouble, I can't get down there to show you, but if I view of it, it's absolutely so cool. There's Tardebigge tunnel right away to the back. If I zoom in just onto the corner there is some steps leading down, but I can't get a bite down there because it's completely overgrown to bring it all the way through. So there's the best view of it. So if I just zoom in one more time, there's Tardebigge tunnel. There is something interesting written underneath it, but I think I'll tell you a bit of history behind this one. So right, the opening of the tunnel dates back to 1807, which dates really far back a bit. The portal is a Grade 2 listed building. And the tunnel itself is actually 530 yards, 485 metres long, and is wide enough for narrow boats to pass each other. I mean, by viewing of it, you wouldn't really think that it was wide enough for narrow boats to pass on each side, but it actually is. I don't know how dark it is all the way through there, but I think as you go through, it's got like a bit of like sandstone a bit further in. I would love to see inside there, but it's absolutely dark from this corner. Zooming in one more time to show you. But there we go, and further over the back over that way we've got Hull Grange Prison I believe, and there is also a big massive mansion and a big water tower sticking right away up. The water tower is actually derelict, so if you walk across the side of the road you can go and check it out. But where we want to get to is the St Bartholomew's Church, which is right away at the top, finalising our video there. I tell you what guys, it's absolutely so warm today. My camera has really died out so fast. I think it's because of the temperature and it's overheating. So we'll film the last bit here and I think we'll end the video there guys, I think. So when I get back home after this, it's getting too warm for me out here now. I just really couldn't have been doing with walking today, it's that bad. Sweltering. But right, let's go and see what St Bartholomew's has got to offer for me. So right, where we want to head to is through the gate here, all the way through, then up to St Bartholomew's Church, just into the woodland there. So here we are guys, St Bartholomew's Church. This is actually the outside of it. I think this one's open, I've been here before, and the inside is absolutely stunning. Let's go and check it out. So right, walking all the way through, you can just see the bell tower right the way to the top. Some really stunning architecture, and not only that, the outside of it, how it goes round onto this corner. Let's go and see if this place is actually open. It'll be interesting. So right, this is the far back end of it. The architecture there is absolutely so cool. So please say this one's open. Yes, it is. It's actually open. Wow, here we go. This is the final church. The architecture here is out this world. You can just see the ceiling right away at the top, the patterns. The ceiling right away at the back is absolutely so cool. There isn't any stained glass windows in this one. We've got up there, we've got a symbol, Du et Mondroy. But this one's got some really stunning architecture. When you view all the way up the paintwork, how it goes right away to the top, different colours. But I really do love the ceiling, how it goes round at the far back, right away to the top. You can just see zooming in the patterns up to there. Got the organ. But here we go, the far back of the church where the stained glass window is. Coming to the side here, it says Tardebigge. We've got the banners coming all the way down, St Bathlomews. Some nice patterned woodwork. And the far back windows on this side, we've only got one stained glass window on the far back corner here. And there we go, an absolutely beautiful one to end the video. What a journey this was, coming all the way up to the canal. I might come back and cover more history of the canal line itself another day, but I tell you what, it's just so warm out there. I'm going to have to take an half-an-hour break near because I've got like a really bad dizzy head. I don't want to overdo myself, so I think I'm just going to get back home and find another route to get home now. So I've got to get all the way back to Chadzik, but it's a really, really long bike ride, so I'm going to have to take more breaks. But yeah, what a place. But that is the most interesting part of the church, right away at the back. That architecture is so stunning. I would love to know more history behind it. There's got to be tons of history with this building. It really does date back a bit. So there we go for me, the Midlands Outdoors. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I'm definitely going to come back out and do more things like this. Do you want me to travel further again on a nice day? I definitely will. But definitely come and check out these churches. They're really beautiful. The one in Stoke Prior, the other one that I went to, and this St Bartholomew's Church. To see that architecture at the back there while you're up here, it's just so cool. This one's open all day long, so feel free to come and check it out. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon. For Midlands Outdoors out. Long journey home now. Thank you.